Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Eve. This is Everyday Artist, and this is Rogue. Say hi, Rogue. No, she doesn't want to. What? You like food? You come over here. Oh, Auntie's not giving you any food. When my sister feeds her cats, she lets the dog have a few nibbles of cat food, and apparently that is far better than her dog food. Yeah, she came back. See? Okay, so October. I kind of sort of got tired of certain things. So I have a little bit more projects, but and not necessarily more stitching. There's been several days this past week where I just was like, I'm too hot and I'm too tired, I can't. But I did do a little bit of work on hands-on design Blueberry, the berry basket. And here is where we have it. Now, before I started working on it, and I only worked on this one day, basically one thread. I think I had just barely started these berries, and I finished these, and I started the next clump. And these are going to have little brown spots, kind of like that, interspersed in here. And there's going to be white around. It's not really white, it's cream. Anyway, these are all DMC colors, and I'm doing this on, I think it's 18 count, something from Hobby Lobby. I don't remember. I think when they're all done together, this will look really cute. I mean, this is the neutral that I chose, and the white color doesn't show up quite as well as it does on the sample. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the sample was for a different count fabric. And I went, oh, that's why it's so small. Because a lot of times, no, not when I go to the attic. When I go to the attic, I am looking for a specific count in a specific type of fabric, if I want to buy fabric there. But when I'm at Hobby Lobby, the choice is much more limited, and I just choose what I like. So since they started cutting down and they don't have, you know, the Murano Carré and all those other things, plus I just can't remember. I suppose I should write it down. I know a lot of you guys do. And I don't keep a book of my stitching or anything like that. More power to you, all of you guys that are organized and keep track of what you stitched on when and what day and when you started it. It's all I can do to update Thread Stash. At least in there, I try to keep track of start dates and end dates and, you know, that kind of thing. But if I had a book, you know, like the Book of Days or something, I might start it, but I would never ever put anything in it later. So I'm just not that organized in my thoughts. I think that's why I started with WhipGo, just so I could plan out in advance and then not have to really think about what I was going to start up. Although I probably won't do WhipGo this year. Now, my Whip Go project that I was started with for October is in the same project bag as this. I'll Force Embroidery, cranes, and I had, this is a light blue, and it's also in the swan, and I couldn't work on the swan without, you can kind of see it right here, without getting it, and I didn't have that thread, and I thought, okay. And so I bought the thread and I put it in there and I said, I think I need to work on it. So both of these projects are on the same fabric. 25 count something from Lugana from Hobby Lobby. This is not the right one. So I didn't do tons and tons of work on it. Oh, this is upside down. Okay. No. Eventually, I will hold it right. There we go. So here's the blue and the wing. So this is the middle of the pattern where I started, and the blue is on this side. And I actually have all of the blue in, but I ran out of thread and I didn't bother to go back and do that because I actually knew I should be working on other things. I did not stitch every day this past week. When you see my temperature chart, you'll get an idea why. Okay, so my Whip Go project was CrossStitchingForFun's Snowflake Ornaments. Yeah, this, I should print it out again. Seen better days. And we all are wondering what this is, and I think it's supposed to be filled in here, but I don't know with what color. And they no longer have an Etsy shop, and when I look at the pattern, it looks like that. So I don't know if I should cut off that entirely or fill it in. What do you think that is? I don't want to do just 3. But like the penguin has tons and tons of gold on it, and I'm wondering if it was supposed to be filled in with gold. Maybe I can go to their new shop on, I think it's Inspire, and find this and figure out what that's supposed to be. And I might do that if I ever finish the first one. So I find this very challenging to work on because I keep getting the 25 count I'm not used to. It's not 14 count. It's not the same size. It's not the same size as 32 count or 16 count. So I always feel like I'm putting the needle in the wrong spot. But this is how far I've gotten. So I did from here down. I know that there are errors in this, in like, instead of meeting like this, they're just like this. When I had to count over, I think I went half a stitch up or down. I don't know. So hopefully when I come across here, it'll match. If it doesn't, I'll make it. So this is the one. This is the one I really, really fell in love with. And see, it does have an open spot in it. So maybe that other creature should have an open spot. Is it supposed to be a polar bear? And I don't know. I will penguin. The penguin is adorable, and I really liked this one. The owl I'm fine with, but I don't know what that is. Anyway, I thought I would get more work done on it, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to do anything. One day this week, I came home and I was so hot and so tired that I just stretched out on the couch. I was even too hot to go put my swimming suit on and get in the pool. So here is Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts 2023 temperature cell, and I am almost done. I'm working on this bottom thing, but I took so much time on the other one that I said, I've got to put something in on this. I'm going to put at least something in on this. So I did one thread, so it's just a little bit further across. I'm really excited. It's going to be done soon. I love this pattern. I looked to see if they had a different temperature chart last year when I got the turtles, but they didn't. Okay, so now, Stitchin' Mommy's temperature turtles. On the September turtle, I had not done any, I think I had one limb done, but any of the other parts of the turtle. And I'm like, I haven't done any of this backstitching stuff, nothing. So I said, I gotta get caught up on some of that, and I tried, I really did, but I know that the backstitching is completely wrong on this one and this one where I've done it. I mean, I don't think it's where it's supposed to be, but it's hard for me to see in all this sea of red. I keep forgetting what month is what. Is that June? July, August, September. Okay, the first few days of September were fine. It was cooling down. But it was, I was like looking at it, the tail, and going, what is wrong with that stitch? I might have to put it in again. It was so hot. One day last week, it was 117 degrees. Yes, in September. Or was that the beginning of October? I don't know. It's been really hot. It's been really hot. My phone sends me a notice every time. Temperatures will be well above normal. Yeah, we know. We can step outside and tell. And it's been so hot. And so when I come back from teaching, when I teach, I have to wear an apron over my clothes. And when I get there, I have to haul a whole bunch of stuff in. So I'm standing outside my car, getting it, and I just never cool off. I come back and, because by the time I start feeling the air conditioning in the building, I have to go back outside. It's only an hour, right? And the car has been sitting there baking in the sun. Now I put the sunshade on there, but it doesn't do any good because the light is coming in from the side. So, yeah. Anyway, I got home and I was just like, I can't do anything. I can't move. I'm so tired. I cannot do anything. And a sad thing is that it's been warm enough to swim. I mean, the pool is coldish because we had those days of cold, but it's still tolerable. We don't have heated pools. Well, there are a couple here in Phoenix, but overall, no. And it has to get pretty hot for several days in order for it to warm up the water enough where you can stand to get in it. And I know you all think, what do you mean you need it to be 100 degrees to swim? Yeah. I used to think the same thing before I moved here. And then I couldn't take it. Your body gets used to the overall higher temperature. And you may want to get in a pool, but it's too cold. The water's too cold. I know, I've turned into a wimp. I meant to mention, and I'm going to insert this before I talked about the hurricane, but in Albuquerque, where I used to live, the first weekend of October to the second weekend October, they're having, they always have, the International Balloon Fiesta, which if you can go to that, it is stunning. And those are the pictures that I have inserted. So if you like hot air balloons, visit. But you have to make your hotel reservations very early or be in an RV because the city doubles in size. So anyway, and I feel awful complaining about being too hot when there are so many people dealing with far worse, far worse. And honestly, I pray for the safety of everybody that's on the East Coast in those areas hit. And now I understand the West Coast of Florida, the Gulf Coast, is going to get more storm weather. And I used to live in Florida. I remember watching the hurricane season very closely. I remember when Hugo was supposed to hit right, I lived not on the coast, but very close to the coast, east coast of Florida. And they were telling us that you couldn't take your pets. And I was like, I'm not leaving my animal behind. And I was like, okay, if I have to get in my car and drive to Georgia, that's what I'm doing, to get a hotel instead of in a shelter. Because if it's too dangerous for me, there is no way I would want to come back and find my pet dead. And same thing with fires. I mean, people with large animals, you can't just toss them in the car. Farm animals, horses, things like that. And it's an impossible situation. So I know what everybody over there is going through, and I know there are people that think, what are you doing risking your life for your pet? And that pet depends on you for their safety. So that's why people do it. That pet has become a part of their family, and it's a horrible choice. Of course, you need to save your children and human life, but things can be replaced. It's horrible when people lose their homes. It's horrible when people lose their belongings, and all the financial lost jobs and all that. But it's the lives that matter. And so I have been watching that with, I have friends on the coast still. And I keep watching and checking in and making sure. A lot of them are really good about trying to check in and tell people that they're safe. So, yeah. Anyway, didn't mean to end on a bummer, but I know you all are probably thinking about everybody that you know in those areas as well. So that's all for this week. I will see you again next week, and hopefully I will have cooler temperatures and more stitching. And I am hoping that, I am praying that the people that are being hit by these storms survive with their families and find some place to be until they can get back to where they used to be. It looks like it's going to be a bad hurricane season, so yeah. Okay, that's enough. I'll talk to you next week.